Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We have a great conversation there every day. And you know what? If you tweet a question or something to me or a comment, I'm going to respond. So let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit about the Kings versus Spurs because the Kings have had a lot of things going on with their roster and they all look to me as pretty good. They've upgraded their talent. They now have Isaiah Thomas starting, who's doing fantastic. Kind of like I said in the summer, if you don't remember. So let's go through some of the key plays here, what the Spurs are doing and what the Kings are doing, and how this ended up being a terrific game. And just a couple of plays down the stretch, and the Kings could have had it, and it was on the road. So you'll see that as a young team begins to gel, they learn some things, they'll get better at these, and these games will be wins for them sooner than later. Rudy Gay has already had a profound impact on the Kings' offense. And nowhere is it more evident than in the performance of their other two stars, DeMarcus Cousins and Isaiah Thomas. You can see how each player's production has increased significantly due to the presence of Gay when they have the ball. Cousins has improved across the board since the trade, and Isaiah Thomas moved into a starting role and has absolutely flourished. Rudy Gay has also changed the way he's attacked, posting up a lot more and isolating a lot less, making him much more effective, and his shooting percentage has shot way up. He's cut down on his three-point attempts, and while it's low now, I'm sure it'll regress to much closer to the mean, where he shot 34% for his career. Here's an example of Rudy Gay attacking smaller defenders down low, and the Kings are not shy about getting him the ball. And he can really benefit from playing with Cousins and Isaiah Thomas as the third part of this pick and roll, spotting up and getting into the lane where he can do some damage. And when Gay and Isaiah Thomas are on the perimeter, it helps Cousins down low, as teams don't want to lose track of those two, giving Cousins some room to go to work. And here's why I think DeMarcus Cousins can be the best center in the league. Who else his size can shot fake and put the ball on the ground like this? He's got speed and ball handling ability like almost no other big man playing the game today. And then you have Isaiah Thomas, who has been deadly from three-point range, and the Spurs made a huge mistake here by not coming out higher to contest this shot in transition. He's also crafty with his change of speed and will sometimes refuse the ball screen altogether, keeping the defense guessing, and has a variety of finishing moves. Manu was looking very young in this game, leading the team in scoring. Here, Thornton helps one pass away, completely turning his back on Manu, and you can bet the Spurs will make him pay for this mistake. And if he can get a mismatch off the screen and roll, he doesn't always have to go to his left, which he can finish really well with his right hand. The Spurs also added a player to their lineup in Bellinelli, and he couldn't be a more perfect fit. The Spurs have 3 lineups with a positive net rating, and Bellinelli appears in 2 of them. So, while his stats might not jump out at you, he's doing so many things for them. For instance, he can handle the ball like a point guard, push it on the break, and he sees the floor as well as most. And he fits in well with the Spurs' motion on offense, using their off-ball screening with clever cuts to get open for his very solid jump shot. And then there's Tony Parker, who had a typical night for him with 22 and 7, doing most of his damage from the perimeter on the left side of the floor. With the score tied, the Kings needed to execute, and on this out-of-bounds play, McLemore missed Isaiah on the cut, and the Spurs did a fantastic job to pressure, forcing Cousins to step on the half-court line and turn it over. The Spurs execute this simple pick and roll, which is really designed to get Dunk in great position on the low block. Hard to see what Cousins did to earn a foul, but calls like this happen on the road. While it was crucial the Kings get a good shot, and isolating Cousins on Duncan on the perimeter is a pretty good idea, since he had been scoring like this all night, but Duncan comes up with a huge defensive play to veer him out of the lane and force a tough shot with the clock winding down. When the Spurs needed a shot, they got good motion, and the Kings had trouble with this down the stretch as Isaiah Thomas runs pick and roll, but doesn't make a pass and gets a very tough shot in the lane. But somehow this ball didn't go down. The Spurs run their patented Parker-Duncan pick and roll, and the Kings do a great job to contain the penetration. And Isaiah Thomas pressures Duncan on his long two. This was good positional defense, and Rudy Gay finds Jason Thompson open going to the hoop, but the pass was just off. Thompson doesn't shoot with his left hand, and the Kings missed their best opportunity to get this game back. And as is often the case against the Spurs, if you don't take advantage when you have the chance, they will eventually bury you. I don't think the Kings minded this shot by Parker, but again, on the left side, he just nails the coffin shut with his three.